Well, as if starting your first ever NFL game isn't enough of adversity for a rookie. He played in a game where the rest of the team decided to heap more adversity on him throughout 4 quarters. Overall, though, I think he came out the other end showing some promise and pretty much okay as far as the Saints are concerned. Definitely as far as I'm concerned. I'm Tim. Let's talk Saints. I would go with a passing grade because I spent most of Monday. Um, Actually found a clip on NFL YouTube channel where they showed all of his runs and his passing plays. Um, so I was able to kind of really break down some film on him. Feel like his passing grade. Um, Check PFF's grade on him. It looks like they had him at 64.8. Yeah, slightly above average, still passing. Um, and just a word of note on PFF. I like to look at him. It's a great baseline, but because they're trying not to be subjective, but because they're not trying to be subjective, that grade doesn't take into account the makeshift offensive line, the 3 days of practice because you played on Monday and had to play on Sunday, stuff like that. I don't know how much that would actually affect his grade, but it would put a curve in it somewhere. So I mean, do with that information what you will. But I'm just looking at the pass fail and I'm going, it's definitely a pass, maybe slightly, maybe higher, but it's a pass. Um, but what I found in the film was it kind of really broke down into three categories: some good stuff and good or better, some bad stuff, but not a lot of it, and nothing that would make you think to yourself, just kind of cringe and go, "Oh my God, what the hell is he doing? Why is he on the field? Get him off now." There was nothing horribly, atrociously bad. Um, Mostly the bad is kind of stuff where you would expect a rookie quarterback to sit down with his quarterback coach, Janoko, his offensive coordinator, Kubiak, watch some film and get coached up a little bit, even possibly with some expectation going, look, you're going to have to do some outside work on your own. You're going to have to watch some film in your own time. You're going to need to get out on the field after practice, maybe work with your receivers a little more, whatever. And I think stuff like that has been the bane of existence for some young quarterbacks who just won't do it or think they don't have to do it. One of the things I've liked about Rattler all along is I don't get the impression he's one of them. And he's the guy out there that is just going to go, okay, that's what I need to do to get better. I'm going to go do it. Hope it proves to be true because I know some of that stuff it's already started. Hopefully, it has to. If we expect him to progress and get better, because that is my expectation. I think there's a lot there to work with. Some of it's raw, some of it is, and he made some plays in that game that I don't even think I'm exaggerating. At least half 16 starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now couldn't do. And that's something, you know, you can hang your hat on. You can be optimistic about. You can have a little hope. It may not manifest itself this year, and not only because he is a rookie and he's got some learning curves to deal with, and possibly some extra work to do, but his set of circumstances around him is terrible. Let's be honest. It's adversity. And then you get in a game and you have your defense decide not to play most of the first quarter and totally bail out in the fourth quarter when it's still a 4-point game. Doesn't get more adverse than that. And I will say, to close this out, and then we'll cue up the film and go through that. But I will say this at the end of the game. Now I know it's garbage time, but at times Tampa was playing soft. But there were a couple times where they went after him, even when they were up, 44 to 27. And even then, he's still fighting. And it may have just been the safe face. It may have been to keep impressing coaches. It may have been he really thought, hey, we got a chance to come back win this game. Let me go out and try to make some plays. Any combination thereof. But the biggest thing is he didn't quit. And again, I don't think I'm exaggerating on this. I don't know if it's half the NFL, but easily 8 or more quarterbacks around the league in that same situation, they're already out the game. And most of those are probably asking for it at that point, going, "Shit, this shit's over, man. Let me make a business decision, get the hell off the field." So I got to give him, you know, I got to give him credit for that. He's out there fighting. I think that's just part of who he is. Again, from what little bit we've seen, I hope it is. He is going to need it to survive the next few weeks because it sounds like he's going to be the guy for possibly 3 or more games. So, and he's got even more adversity heaped on him right now because almost no time to prepare for Denver coming in on Thursday night. So we're going to break down a little video about 5 minutes worth of cuts I made um, on the game, provided by again NFL's YouTube channel. Give them credit so they don't decide I can't use it. First play, I thought was well designed, well schemed, a good play to call on the very first play that you were going to put him on the field. And I like the fact that they didn't try to ease him into it. They came right out and let him toss the rock around a little bit and hits really a big play. That's 10 plus to Juwan Johnson. And what I thought was beautiful about this is that probably the Tampa Bay expectation was, again, they're going to ease him in. So they're not really looking to try to crank a ball down the field. They're going to want to run it. Their best run with Kamara is wide zone left. And let me tell you, that's exactly what we gave them. And the snap of the ball, the offensive line's moving left. You get a great play fake. Johnson with a good chip and release, and Shaheed running a post flag. Moreau sealing the edge. Man, you've got a beautiful thing going right there. He's got a lot of options here, and you're making it kind of easy for him. Especially once Moreau does his job and gets that block and seals that edge, where now he's got the whole outside. And if he can't find anything, he can tuck it and run it if he needs to. And we get Olave in the play over here. He's just got the corner kind of pinned on the sideline. And this is what I loved about it the most is that he had Johnson in that space coming all the way across. And this is a play that Frisco likes to run a lot. And I'm going to say it right now. Some of the stuff I broke down are some plays kind of out of that Kyle Shanahan Frisco offense. I did a video earlier in the summer on him and try to remember to put it in the end card so you can go and look. But you see very similar type plays like this. And one of their staples is a play action rollout where the tight ends crossing all the way from the backside. The best part of this is Rattler doesn't put it on him. He realizes there's all kind of space. He puts it in front of him where Johnson can catch the ball and go pick up extra yak and get us across the 50 on the very first play. Now, that was the good. The bad, this very next play is the fumbled snap. Um, and honestly, with a rookie quarterback and a center who's only been on the team, I think less than 2 weeks, then they've had roughly 3 practices together. Um, I was expecting to have some problems with stuff like this, but I wasn't expecting for it to only happen one time. Unfortunately, it came at a horribly wrong time for the Saints because it puts us in a 2nd and 15. And then this is the maybe play right here. And it went horribly, maybe the wrong way for the Saints because we're 2nd and 15. We're on their side of the 50. At the very least, we want to try to get some type of yardage, get us into a 3rd and something to work with. If you can, even if you end up with 2 10-yard plays or 13-yard plays, you may have a chance to go for it on 4th down, may roll group you out there for a long field goal. But to get all that started is don't try to take it all in one shot. And I think they make another great play call here. And honestly, I think it was a great read. He wasn't even going to put himself in the position, especially when he noticed Olave was going to beat him on the outside. He puts the ball right beautifully on Olave. If you want a nitpick, yeah, maybe he could have thrown it a split second sooner to try to get Olave on the break or coming out of the break instead of a few steps into the break. I'm not really worried about that right now, honestly, because I think that's kind of the veteran things that once you've been in the league and he and Olave's been able to work more together. So even maybe later in this year, he can pick it up fast enough where he can kind of anticipate that, make that throw. Olave's coming out of the break, catches it. But either way, it's just a set of unfortunate circumstances because the outside corner is not really paying any attention to Shaheed. So two things happen. Um, Smith was still close enough to go diving in there, and he manages to as Olave's trying to get the ball to his outside hand like he's supposed to, manages to reach in there and punch it out. And it's kind of a great play on Smith's part. And the second thing is the referee standing right there 5 feet away completely misses the targeting that gives our guy a concussion, causes him the fumble return for a touchdown. And the reason why I say that's a big maybe play, yeah, maybe if it's, I mean, I don't even know if it's a half step, quarter step sooner for Olave to catch it. He's able to get it tucked away, doesn't get punched out. He probably still gets nailed with the targeting, but hopefully he holds on to the ball. You still have the ball. You still have a positive play, minus the concussion that Olave had to leave the game with. But the maybe didn't turn out the way we wanted it. And I've got this one in there just for the simple reason he is displaying, again, something there's a lot of NFL quarterbacks that can't do. So he can laser balls on that outside. And on the sideline, he can make accurate throws. He did miss a couple in this game. One early to Means, I would have picked up a first down where he overthrew him. There was a couple later on in the second half, but for the most part, he's throwing dimes out there. And there's NFL quarterbacks that just simply won't even try that throw because they just can't do it. And he does not have a problem with it. And there is another one, and that is a laser dime again on Means, and even further downfield. That's more in the intermediate range, and boom, ball's there. It's caught. You pick up a first down. Again, a lot of veteran NFL quarterbacks won't even attempt that throw because they just can't do it. And I believe this is the play where I get really excited. The potential that you could have with Rattler and again, I said this the other night post game. I do not mean it as any type of insult. It just is what it is, where I call them statues, and I don't mean it derogatory, but let's just say more of a less to mostly immobile quarterback. You see a lot of them in the league. Carr is kind of in that category. He'll move a little bit. He has the capability to move a little bit. He's athletic enough. You can roll him out, or he can scramble out of there and pick up yards. So I'm truly not knocking the man. But where his strength is to stay in that pocket, stay on his spot, even if he moves a little bit, if it's a sliding pocket and he's got to go right or left. He did that the Monday night on the bomb to Shaheed. Just they moved the pocket, and he moved a little left, got set, and you know threw a dime down the middle of the field for a long touchdown. That's his game. That's his strength. So that's what you want him to do. That's the way you're designing the offense. And if you look at Frisco, they don't do a whole lot of that. They do some of it. They do more what we had Rattler during this game. And this is one of the real key looks that we're going to break down because they're showing, and this is early still in the first quarter, they're showing that 5-man pressure look to stop the run and try to get some pressure if we're going to try to throw it. He has really no problem with the way this play is out because what they actually do is they've already dropped the edge that's picking up Kamara, the edge that when Moreau was staying in to block their left edge, and he realized Moreau wasn't coming out. He backs off, and so Moreau goes, well, okay, I'll get into the check down. You've got Kamara crossing, you've got Moreau getting in his route, but for the most part, everybody's covered, and they're way back there just at the top of your screen. You can see Antoine Winfield just in single high safety. And after both crossers move around, and the defense loses contain, all of a sudden, man, there's a whole lot of space opening up. And the guy that's trying to tackle Rattler right now is the only player that can do anything about it. And Rattler has no problem making him miss. Vita Vea's chasing him down. Rattler's eventually going to outrun it. And then even here, I feel like he can feel pressure or somebody behind him because he's going to make this cut. He sees If we'd had somebody down here just to pick up the block on the guy coming in the left where he wouldn't have to do this, um, he's getting in a foot race, right up the hash. And the end of that play, which I got chopped off, was he makes that cut. He realized the guy's coming over. And what is he just kind of gets down to the ground. He didn't really slide, but he protected himself because that was a situation lining up where he could have got double teamed with Vay and the safety, the defensive back coming over, and his first NFL start could have possibly ended right there. He didn't allow that to happen. So he's showing mobility, and we're showing a portion of the San Francisco's offense that we flashed a little bit with Carr because he can do some of it, and we tried to do a little bit with him. But this kind of stuff is more up. Rattler's kind of their guy. I think that's why they drafted him because they were envisioning them being able to, as Kubiak says, we need to fit the offense to the players we have. And they're looking at him going, well, we have to do less changes to what we want to do if we've got him under center. And look, again, play action, roll out. They didn't all take the fake this time, but there's still some confusion with Shaheed crossing their face. He looks up, and Moreau's just settled in a nice little open spot, and he puts it right in his stomach where he has no choice but to catch it. And Moreau turns that into Signac. You know, this is kind of the hopeful stuff that you want to see your quarterback doing. And we're moving in the second quarter. This is some plays in here where I thought he really, really shined. One of them right here is unlike a lot of quarterbacks goes, oh, hell, I don't have anything downfield. Let me just take the check down and see what Alvin can get. And Johnson's coming in late, throw him a block, but Alvin gets most of that on his own and puts you in a good position. And to show you what the kind of bad is, that time we had it blocked up. Actually, Moreau for a split second he's got his guy blocked, and he actually runs a little interference on the second guy. But because Alvin, the throw wasn't there, this is one of the bad throws. You just have to live with him. If he gets a throw similar to the one he had on the first play, he's already coming up the sideline right now. He's going to get as far as Moreau's block. And then he's having to deal with one guy over, um, or one guy, I should say, that could get him out on the sideline. But instead, everybody's caught up to him. Moreau can't block everybody. There's no way Alvin can do much there except get what you can get. Um, this play, I like the design. I'm still not sure what we were trying to do on the left side. Was it some type of screen? I think it was. That guy blew it up, but it didn't matter. Everybody was biting on that run fake and screen. And he throws a beautiful dime to Means, who does a great job catching it with the toe drag. That's that was a big time throw. This one right here, just got to stop it right here. This would be the one of those what I mentioned earlier. Janoko and Kubiak are probably going to get with him, watch a little video right here, and say, for the most part, you didn't put us in a bad position because that was a lot of pressure you were dealing with. You tried to sneak out through the center, but the whole time you had the kind of the check downs, and it looks like Tampa was playing back off the sticks a little bit and just kind of giving that short throw going, if they pick up the first down, we're still going to tackle them. But you had two guys you could go through. He's realizing now, but it's just a tad second too late that he had Tipton, and you could conceivably move the chains right here as long as, the ball's caught. Because later on in the game, we had similar circumstances to this in the second half, and people were dropping balls left and right because, we like to heap more adversity on our rookie quarterback. But for the most part, the complaint there isn't that bad, and it's fixable. And probably after the play, he knew, man, should have got that ball out to one of those two guys. He tried to get through his progressions. He hung in there, pockets collapsing, and at times it amazed it held on that long. He's rolling right, and then again, just not many quarterbacks in the NFL is going to roll right, direct some traffic, and more about buying time than about ready to take off the field because he realizes if he can get Means to a spot, he can laser a ball in there again on the sideline, pick up a nice play, a good chunk play, first down. But so far, what you've seen, there's nothing there that you can really hate on. I don't feel like. Now I know I'm kind of cherry picking some stuff here, and there are some, but I so far kind of picked the worst egregious of his bad plays that he's had up until this point. I feel like anyway. Um, and again, it's nothing they can't work with. It's nothing that they can't fix. And the reason why I'm doing this, I don't know. These referees were letting picks and pass interference and all go along. So I don't know if it was intentional. That means basically got in there and clocked two guys, which works out swimmingly because it gives Moreau a clear release and nobody's paying attention to him. And credit both Rattler and Moreau here. First, because Rattler's rolling left and he's not really looking that way, but he sees him. And look what he does, squares his shoulders up and gets ready to make a throw back across the field, which you don't normally like quarterbacks to do, but he didn't do it on the run. He did it. He did it like he would do it from the pocket. And there's a good chance he's going to get lit up after he throws his ball. Doesn't care because the other thing is he saw this and Moreau. Because when I saw this happening, at first I thought it was a bad throw that Moreau had to stop and wait for. Why didn't you lead him? That could have been a touchdown. Yada yada yada. I had that thought quickly go through my head for a couple of seconds until I realized Antoine Winfield was still sitting back there. So Moreau did the right thing. Let me settle down right here. There is nobody here. And call for the ball. Rattler saw him. And not only does it not run Moreau into a possible situation with Antoine Winfield behind him, but it gives Rattler a chance to make that easier throw, square up, and just put it on him again in his gut where he can't help but catch it. And you still get the yak after the catch because he was so wide open, thanks to the whatever that was Bub Means did, which was probably should have been a penalty, but wasn't called. Um, there's nothing exciting here other than the fact I love the fact that they kept trying to do that, which they were finally able to get him the ball on an easy pitch and catch for him and get him going again. This is one of my gripes. I'm just going to freeze it right there real quick. In that third quarter, there really wasn't a lot going on. We defense had another big play where they couldn't tackle a person and ends up giving up a score. But for the most part, it was, you know, we went into that quarter up 3. We came out down 4. We're still in the game. So that one that I just showed you, that was the one where we would have had a first down, a chance to continue a drive at that point. And they ended up, I still think he caught it and it should have been a fumble and yet another Tampa Bay recovery, but they overturned it on replay. But the problem was to me there is Rattler did a very good job and we started that was the point we started seeing some oopsies dropsies. I think Wilson had one in the first quarter. Um, because Means really should have called that ball, should have secured it. It never should have been in that position. It should have either been fourth and short or first down. Let's keep going. And because it was a fumble return on the tackle, I think it was our center grabbed the face mask. So once it was decided it wasn't a turnover, you still assess the penalty, whatever stupid rule that is, and we don't even get a field goal attempt, a long field goal attempt out of that. Hurt on many, many levels, and that was another maybe play. Maybe if we do what we're supposed to do, and again, it wasn't on Rattler, mostly on Means. And I get it, he's another rookie too, but just secure the ball, hold on, go down at the marker right there, and give us a chance to make a decision on what we're going to want to do. And this is the last maybe play I had. In a weird way, it was a backbreaker. This is just a weird play on many levels. I'm going to back it up because this is the interception, and I like the play call. I like the chunk play. There's so much I'm liking. I don't even hate the throw. Rattler said, "Yeah, I underthrew it a little bit," and he's right in this respect where I've kind of got the ball placed here. If it's basically to that point at about the 45-yard line towards the sideline, there's a whole lot of space there, and you can fit a ball in there that Shaheed has got all kinds of chances to run under because you're dealing with 4.2 fast as hell speed. And one of the there's a lot of guys that run 4.2 in the NFL. There's not a lot of them that can track a ball and adjust and get to it really without slowing down and catch it. We've seen that already a couple of times this year. And it's more like because you see him start to jump. So it's more like Rattler put the ball on him maybe as not necessarily an underthrow because he didn't have the strength, but was trying to get it on him, not realizing I should be leading him a little bit because it looks like he's slowing down the jump. And maybe that's just a little bit that allowed that defensive back to get back into play. And let's be honest, he made a tremendous play because he's jumping up while running back full speed and still able to high point the ball because if he's a quarter of a step late and doesn't get a finger on it, I'm pretty sure Rattler's pass is hitting um, Shaheed's hands right about now instead of the defensive backs. And then you have the situation you want. You have a big play. You got Shaheed one on one with Antoine Winfield. And Shaheed has a chance to get the sideline and blow past him. That's the huge maybe play. And one I would not ding Rattler on hard because I think, again, this is one of those things. You work with Shaheed a little more. You kind of figure that out. You realize, yeah, less on him, more lead him. He's going to get there. He's going to catch the ball. You know, I don't need the perfect pass. I need the near perfect pass past him into that open space where he can go make a play because we know he can. Um, and that's one of those you said, yeah, a veteran would know a little more about it. I think just the sheer fact that play happened the way it did, it that's the kind of plays that make a rookie a veteran real quick. Because when he goes back and look at it, and if not, but for a couple of inches, it's a whole different play. It's a whole different game. So this is one of the few plays I really didn't like, and it kind of starts right there. Now, if you notice, what they did is they were showing one of those heavy five-man pressure looks, and at the snap of the ball, two of them bailed out, but one of the defensive backs that looks like he'd have been back in umbrella coverage. I mean, this is a Todd Bowles special right here. This is what makes him when he can do stuff like this. He's coming on a delayed blitz towards the outside. And what I don't like about this play, and I'm not sure how this happens, I don't know if it was by design, something Rattler just did, whatever, but he's got his back to the defense right now while this is going on. Now, to his credit, when he comes out of there, he quickly realizes he has a problem because the left side of our line's folded. So one of those three, the edge on that side, on the defensive right, our left, he's coming through. In Rattler, if he doesn't see it, he's blind. So I'm pretty sure he notices. But right here, he's also looking at the fact, holy crap, there was a delayed blitz coming. I got another guy to deal with, and odds are I'm not going to be able to deal with it. Now, we were down two scores at this point, down 10. So also in his mind, he's thinking, but it's third long. I got to make a play. I got to do something to keep us in the game. But throwing a pick right here isn't it because then he turns and he's totally back footing this and trying to back foot it a long way down the field. Just not a high percentage play. And I mean, a yard, maybe less away from being, that pick you just don't want to throw there, you know. While the first one was just a transitioning from rookie starting quarterback to veteran quarterback when he threw the first pick um, on the play we just showed. This is no, man. And look, you want to put this on as a rookie mistake, but like I said, we see quarterbacks and we had, Carr pull a very similar maneuver on that Monday night game and throw an interception. So it's just something, hey, you don't need to do. Um, but even then, now that they're down big, this is basically garbage time at that point. And he didn't quit. He didn't shut it down. And I really do believe that says a lot for the young man. Um, in there was the last play I didn't show was and I think it happened a couple plays after that one or the drive before. I'm not really sure which, but very similar play. It's a little garbage time. We're trying to throw the ball to the outside, so get out of bounds, get yardage. And he kind of no looked it, and one of the defensive backs, if you go back and look, he's jumping the route the whole way. And so when Rattler threw it out there at that point, I don't care how hard you throw the ball, the defender was in between Rattler and his target, and it hit him. It was a beautiful pass to him. Uh, that definitely rookie mistake. That's another one that along with the last play we just showed with the near back foot downfield interception. Again, this is stuff that is, I really believe, Janoko, Kubiak, and Rattler sat in the film room yesterday and went, okay, this, and this. And then a lot of the other stuff that went on in that game that was under his control, because we're going to talk about the stuff under his control and not the stuff not under his control. I think it's all workable, fixable stuff. I think you got the coaching staff to be able to point it out and be able to work with him and fix it, at least on the offensive side of the ball. And I think he's a young man that's more than willing to do it. That he's hungry and he wants to make all this happen. So while it wasn't perfect, it wasn't pretty. Um, Even without grading on a curve, I think it's passing. If you do put a curve on it, and then start factoring in some of the stuff that's out of his control that affected him. Most obviously, the makeshift offensive line that God bless them. They tried hard and they held out for as long as they could, but just sooner or later, as that game flow went, especially once our defense started crapping to bed, they were put in a bad position where those guys just don't have the ability to hold up like we needed them to for Rattler to make plays, and some of those plays likely affected by that. So you start factoring in those factors and get it more on a curve. Could be a little better and a little more hopeful than even I'm giving him credit for. But I think most people, being honest, watching this game go, yeah, we see more from a young quarterback with him than we've ever seen with any other Saints young quarterback since when? Archie Manning? Or had 40 plus years. So 50 plus years. So all in all, I like what we saw so far. I hope it just keep progressing and getting it better, um, getting him better, and being able to open up more of that offense. So when we actually get some guys back healthy, get Taysom in the mix is going to be a big part. Hopefully, get McCoy back. I don't know about that, but that'll be a big help. But you get pieces like that in, and you can really run the offense you want to run. And they, again, I'm seeing more of that Frisco style offense when he was operating than you can really do with Carr. Maybe it works out, but I do think the Saints are showing, and I think Spencer Rattler, more importantly, is showing the Saints that look, may not be perfect. It can certainly get better, but you definitely have something to work with. For the final time in this video, I'm giving him a passing grade, and I see a chance to really develop a quarterback that fits more and more what you're seeing in the current style of the NFL, which is, you know, call them mobile, but you can break that down by categories. There's run first guys, there's pass first guys that can move, and there's kind of guys that are in between. And I don't know where he would really fall in all that. But regardless, what all those guys have in common, they make the defense defend 11 every play of every game. And for a large part of this game, what we were doing. When the game got out of control and we had to throw the ball downfield, that's when things started getting rocky. But let's be honest, we've said this all along since Clint Kubiak was hired to run this offense. That's the kind of thing they want to stay out of as much as humanly possible. When they do that stuff, they want to do it because they want to do it, not because game flow dictates it. So we're up 3.5. We're down 4 at the end of the third quarter. So by all rights, if the defense could tackle somebody and get the ball back in his hands, notwithstanding the interception that led off the fourth quarter, even some of that chunky stuff that was looking very bad, and he was, and it wasn't just him, the whole offense was struggling with, that's in a maybe by itself. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe we get a close game down in the fourth quarter. And what pisses me off more than anything, and I'll leave you on this thought, that didn't happen because what I really wanted to see was how he would have operated in some type of 4-minute or 2-minute offense with a one-score game either way, whether we were up or down. I gotta hope we're that close to Denver Thursday night because that means we're not getting blown out again if we are, and we can get a chance to see what his game is like with that. Because a lot of times the ability to play in that situation is the defining thing for a quarterback because some can do it and some can't. The list of both is long. I don't think I need to give you any names on that. So if you're with me on I'm not using words like franchise quarterbacks or elite or anything like that. I'm just starting off. Spencer Rattler has shown me enough promise and hope that he is going to be a starting level NFL quarterback that can run this particular offense we're trying to run, move the ball, and put points on the board. So that's the thesis of this whole video. If you agree with that one, give me a thumbs up. Put them in the comments. I suspect most people generally, I've not taken a poll of everybody on the planet, but generally from what I'm seeing, I think most people are to some degree, some more, some a little less on where I am on the situation. So, and I know you're going to let me know in the comments below. If it's your first time here, go ahead, please hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the notifications, drop some comments yourself down there. All that stuff helps the algorithm, helps grow the channel. And we've been chugging right along and let's keep doing it. So, rest of the schedule for the week, still going to try to do the pregame Thursday, sometime before game time. Do a little live Q&A, see where we're sitting at, seeing how we're all feeling, and then we're going to get back on our regular schedule starting next week. So, till I see you next time, should be Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening. I'm Tim. Peace out. Who dat?